Then, as I said, that these tests have been done by the company itself. And let me tell you that Monsanto has an extremely poor record. That Monsanto is known for inconsistencies, for deceit, for making absurd statements, for manipulating data, for giving you false data, for giving you data when no experiments have been done. And we have documented evidence. Anyone wants to look at that, we have all this record of Monsanto. I have got that file with me here.
Bribing also.
Bribing. Caught bribing in Indonesia. And is known to bribe in Canada. We have evidence that Indonesia bribe was of course covered, where in fact the government of the United States had to recognize that, and they fined Monsanto, what, a few $1 million, when it should have fined $1 billion. Because there's Monsanto works hand in gloves with the government of the United States. So we are depending on a company with this track record for giving us results on the toxicology of the cotton. That makes sense. Then when I said, when I became member, Supreme Court nominee on the GAC, till the time nobody had questioned this. So I said I would like to look at the data. When I looked at the data, I can tell you there were inconsistencies, full of inconsistencies. The data was full of inconsistencies. And then I said that look, this is the company's own data. So Monsanto's representative comes and makes a presentation and says, Dr. Bhargava, you said these data should have been put together by a nationally or internationally accredited laboratory. So we have this Intox company in Pune, and part of this data was generated by Intox. So I said, I'd like to look at that data. So the data was provided to me. And when I looked at data on page 2, in small letters, it was written that the samples were supplied by Monsanto. Now if the samples are supplied by Monsanto, and I know that Bt brinjol is toxic, what I will do is, I'll give them one sample labeled non-Bt brinjol, which is actually non-Bt brinjol. Second labeled as Bt brinjol, which is also non-Bt brinjol. So my result will show that non-Bt brinjol is not toxic. Which means that actually no reliable tests have been done whatsoever. That's the conclusion that one can easily derive at. Then I do want to mention to you some of the very interesting, when I said that the data presented by Monsanto and Bt brinjol cotton was unreliable, was perhaps manipulated, or was inconsistent, or did not take into account scientific literature. Let me give you some examples. There are two major alkaloids and two minor alkaloids in brinjol. And these alkaloids are actually toxic alkaloids, but the level in brinjol is just about at the level of not being toxic. If you increase this level, it will become toxic. So when they compare Bt brinjol with normal brinjol, non-Bt brinjol, in the report, in the Monsanto's report, there is a statement that in the Bt brinjol there is a 30% increase in the alkaloid content of these two alkaloids. In the EC2 report, on the basis of which the expert committee report, which analyzed the report of Monsanto and the comments of many of those who criticized the report, EC2 report says there is no significant difference in alkaloid content. 30% difference is not significant. What will the involvement significant be? Second point, and I can give you the references to that. I have the letter from Robert Nash. There are two minor alkaloids which are discovered, their toxic property was discovered in 2008. And I have a copy of the 2008 paper reference to that. These are called calistogenes, and these are highly toxic. But they are present in small amounts. Nobody has measured what happened in Bt brinjol. If the amount of these alkaloids increased by 30%, then it could even be fatal. But they are not being looked at. Which means that they don't read literature. They don't read scientific literature. Ignore it totally. Then let me give you one very interesting table. In Monsanto's data, you can go up to this website and look at that, which establishes in my mind that the data is a cooked data. It's about cooking brinjal. It's a cooked data about cooking brinjal. So it says, table 1, it says BT brinjal, uncooked, positive for BT toxin, okay? BT brinjal cooked for 10 minutes, negative for BT toxin. BT brinjal boiled for 10 minutes, 5 minutes, the BT toxin is dead, is not active. Table 2, non-BT brinjal, uncooked, positive for toxin. Observe. This now, I've been an editor of many major international journals over 6 decades. I know how data is cooked. And when I pointed this out to the GAC, there was stunned silence. And the chairman of the GAC said, "Oh, but we have made a typographical mistake." So the member secretary of GAC said, no, but this is the data that we received from Monsanto, because she had to defend herself. So that settled the issue. Then let me give you another very interesting example. In BT brinjal, they say that the gene they have used, BT toxin gene, is what they call Cry1AC. Now let me tell you that not only others have done this analysis, so say New Zealand scientists have done this analysis, there is not a Cry1AC gene. It's a hybrid between Cry1, it's a chimera between Cry1AB and Cry1AC. It's more similar to Cry1AB gene than the Cry1AC gene in terms of sequence of the building blocks. So it's wrongly called Cry1AC. Not only that, in the EC2 report, it says that it is 99.4% homology with Cry1AC. It has 1178 amino acids. So if it is 1178 amino acids with 99.4% homology, then at least 7 amino acids must be different. Very simple. 1200 amino acids, 99.4% homology means out of 1000, if there were 1000 amino acids, 6 would be different. 11 amino acids, at least 7 would be different. Simple arithmetic. But it goes on to say only 1 amino acid is different. When I raised this question on the 14th October, it wasn't even listened to. Simple arithmetic. Doesn't need highbrow mathematics. It's just that I was frustrated as a mathematician. And large number of statistical problems with the data. So that's about the situation with BT cotton, BT brinjal.